Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, today I figured I would do a nice recap on my Letterboxd, linked into the description, of what I watched last year in 2022. This is a little bit of a late video, but I figured I would do this. I only watched about 70 movies last year, and as you see throughout this video, they are pretty sporadic up until I think maybe like December, something like that, mainly because of my job. So let's get right into it. So, what I'm going to do is basically just kind of show what I watched, maybe do like a mini review because there's 70 movies. And if I do the math real quick, if I do like 30 seconds, that's going to be like over 30 minutes. I want to maybe cap it at probably 20-25 minute video. So let's get to it. Uh, so I watched Ghostbusters Afterlife. I thought that was really good. The Ghostbusters remake with the all-female cast, I wasn't a fan of personally. I feel like it did sort of a disservice to Ghostbusters in the original and stuff like that. It was all right at times, but I think they could have done it better if they and nothing against the SNL cast, but if the cast members were a little bit different and the comedy was maybe it there's nothing wrong with doing a comedy, but to kind of overdo it in a movie like this just wasn't my cup of tea. Then I watched Eddie Murphy Raw. Great stand-up special. Not my favorite, but as far as Eddie Murphy goes, probably one of Eddie Murphy's best. 14 Peaks. This is a great documentary. I highly suggest you watch it. Excuse me. And then I watched Paul. Um, Funny alien movie. Like that a lot. I decided to watch the Paul Blarts. I don't know why. And then the Hangover. The Paul Blarts, I feel like the first one was, as you can see, 2.5 stars. Okay. The second one didn't need to be done at all. Then I watched The Hangover, classic comedy. The new Scream I thought was very good. I would say it was better than the third one and a little better than the second one. I wouldn't say it was as good as the fourth one. Very meta throughout. I liked seeing the some of the original cast come back to reprise their roles. I thought they did a good job of that, but more implemented the newer cast into it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know why I gave this a 3 star. This movie was not good at all. I didn't like it. It really didn't need to be done, but I think it was just one of those things where they're just trying and not doing too well. Red Rocket, very interesting, very good movie. I believe A24 did this movie. I could be wrong, but um, well shot and just overall great. The Pacific, I believe. Let me click on this actually. This is a mini series. Yeah, it's a mini series that I believe HBO produced, and I thought it was very well done for what it was worth. Kimmy was okay. I thought it was sort of a meh kind of movie. I think it was this was around the time where people were talking about it, so I figured I'd give it a watch. And then I watched Bad Grandpa. All right, I guess. Malignant, James Wan, great movie. Really, I think this was his first ever movie where he really sort of leaned into horror tropes and stuff like that, and I like that a lot. The Power of the Dog, very good movie. Not perfect, 4.5 stars from me, but a very good Western based movie with Benedict Cumberbatch, Kirsten Dunst. I can't remember the other actor's name. I'm sorry, but very, very, very good movie if you want to have like a decent Western type movie to watch. That's one, I believe it's on Netflix. Let me look here. It says Amazon, but I believe when I watched it, it was on Netflix. So if it's on Netflix, I highly recommend The Power of the Dog. Then I had to watch Spider-Man No Way Home because I was just trying to finish up my MCU sort of watch. Yeah, I do watch the MCU movies. Um, I think they're good for what they are. Black Widow, decent. Um, Not the strongest movie. I feel like if they wanted to make it better, they spoiler alert, they should have done it before Black Widow died in Endgame, but it's all right. Monsters University. I feel like this is rated a little bit higher than the way I think about it now. I haven't rewatched it since I watched it, but I have heard some other people sort of talk about it and sort of leaned my take on it in a different direction. So if anything, I would give it like probably 3 stars instead of 4 or 2.5, something like that. Borat subsequent movie film. Another movie I watched just because a lot of people were talking about it. I'm like, I just want to see what the fuss is about and whatnot. I think I did see it in 2020, but I didn't put it on my Letterboxd, so I rewatched it. Death on the Nile, okay. I wouldn't say it was necessarily great, but it was good. I think is this with Sandra Bullock in it, or is this the one with I think this is the one with Gal Gadot. Either way, all right movie. A lot of these movies I'm gonna say are all right, and that's just because it's been a little bit since I've seen them. Gigantic, I do remember this movie. First time watch for me, came out in '08. Not my favorite, as you can tell, 2 out of 5. But this is one of those movies where it's a good movie to put on if you're just doing something in the house and you want something on in the background. Um, but the plot just seemed a little stale. It was sort of an original plot, but the way they executed it wasn't great. I believe Paul Dano's in it, and not really his greatest work, in my opinion. Okay, oops, gotta go forward one. There we go. Okay, let me see. Yep, Zodiac. Very good Jake Gyllenhaal movie. I feel like this movie, people have heard of it, but haven't seen it, if that makes sense. I feel like with the story of the Zodiac Killer and stuff like that, it's sort of one of those things where there's been a decent amount before this movie came out, and then this movie came out, and it's sort of took a different take to it. And it's a good, I would say, thriller. I wouldn't necessarily say it's horror, in my opinion. It's more of just a thriller. But Jake Gyllenhaal does a great performance as usual. 50/50. I looks like these next few movies I went on a bit of a comedy slash Adam Sandler, Seth Rogen take. 50/50 is a great, great movie if you want comedy and a very heartfelt type of movie. I feel like it's one of Seth Rogen's better roles that he's done. And I think him and Joseph Gordon-Levitt co-wrote it together. Couples Retreat, Adam Sandler movie, all right. Knocked Up, watch that because it was a classic. Bohemian Rhapsody, I gave that 5 stars. Now, when I give a movie 5 stars, it doesn't mean that I think that it's perfect. I just think that it's one of the best movies I've seen that year, and I would still consider it a 5 star movie. It's very good. It tells a great story of um, Freddie Mercury and the come up of Queen, and obviously the best scene is the Live Aid scene at the end. I mean, just iconic. The Unforgivable. Hmm. I don't know if I remember this movie. Um, a lot of these movies I just logged as stars with no reviews, so I don't really know what that's all about. Sorry, I need to go back to full screen. The Italian Job, older movie, came out 20 years ago, but it's one of those movies where it's a good heist type movie. It's very Hollywood, if you will. And what I mean by that is it's just sort of um, unlikely situations, but it's a very entertaining heist movie. Don't Look Up. I thought Don't Look Up was good. I watched this during, I believe it came out 2021. I don't know if I watched it right away when it came out, but this had to have been right around the time when it did come out, and I thought it was good because it sort of showed, it sort of did like a look at how society would react in that sort of situation, and I thought that was really good. Idiocracy, obviously, just good movie. Same sort of thing, I guess, as Don't Look Up. Sort of, um, I guess this is sort of like Mike Judge's sort of comedic take on how, what am I trying to say? The future would be like, even though it was made in 2006. I thought it was actually older than that. I thought it was made around the late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah. Home Team was all right. This is the movie about Sean Payton, the football coach for the New Orleans Saints, where he, I don't know if he took a year off and then went back to coaching or if this was after, but he went back and coached his son's football team, lightly based on a true story, but it was all right. Obi-Wan Kenobi. I figured I'd watch this because, like I said, um, when it comes to Star Wars and Marvel and stuff like that, I like watching them because I think they're entertaining. I know most of these movies or TV shows nowadays are going to be very good as far as production because they've got such, essentially, if it's Disney, they've got an unlimited budget to work with. And I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was great. I liked the way they took it with his backstory and stuff like that. Not okay. I do not remember this, so I'm gonna just skip past that one. The Black Phone I thought was decent. I gave it 4 stars for some reason. A lot of these movies I'm kind of questioning why I gave them 4 stars, but it was good. Uh, it's sort of a story that has been done before, but they put a twist on it, so it's whatever. And then I decided to watch Billboard Dad. This is a Mary Kate and Ashley movie. I watched this just for nostalgia. Back in the day when I was younger and I had some VHS tapes laying around, some of them in my pile were my sister's, and I'd watch them. And this is one of those movies that I watched back when I was right around probably 6 to 8 years old or something like that. Top Gun Maverick, I gave this 4.5 stars. I feel like I should have given it 5, but 4.5 is a good rating. This movie was excellent. I would say it's better than the original, which is very, very, very rare when it comes to sequels, especially for a movie that came out essentially, what, almost 30 years? Yeah, over 30 years after the original. Just excellent. Tom Cruise does such a great job. And I feel like it really, really helped that Tom Cruise was, flying his own plane, doing all of his stunts, stuff like that. I feel like it really made it seem like it felt real because it was real. Then I watched Nope, Jordan Peele's latest movie. Again, with the ratings, I give this 4 stars. I feel like I should give it 3.5. Um, Actually, I'm going to do that right now. I'll give it 3.5. Not his best. I feel like I liked this more than Us. I feel like this movie was a little bit more uh in an I guess the easiest way to say it is it was dumbed down compared to the meanings of his other movies. Excuse me. And that's why I liked it. It was entertaining, fun, and also scary. X. Now, when I first heard about X, I didn't know really anything. I read like the plot. I didn't see trailers for this. This felt like one of those movies to me that just sort of came out of the blue and blew up. And I'm like, well, I gotta see this. And when I watched it, I'm like, wow, this movie was really, really good. I'm gonna put extra half star on there for X. This movie was incredible for how they made it. I haven't seen Pearl. I need to watch Pearl still, but X was just fantastic. Did such a good job at the production, the gore, and sort of doing a lot of homages to 1970s, 1980s horror, and I like that a lot. Hustle was another movie where Adam Sandler played a more serious role. There is some comedy throughout this movie because it's an Adam Sandler movie, but him I feel like Adam Sandler needs to do more serious dramatic roles because he is excellent. If you've seen Uncut Gems, you know what I'm talking about. Fear Street 94. That movie was all right. I liked the gore in it. I liked the setting being in the mid 90s. Hubie Halloween. Hubie Halloween was fun. Um, I originally watched it when it first came out in 2020, but I never put it on Letterboxd. But it's a fun watch. This is one that a lot of people were talking about when it came out, and it's finally, I'd say, died down. It was going on for a couple months that people were talking about this, but the Dahmer series, um, very good. 3.5 stars, I feel like is good enough for what it is worth. I think on Rotten Tomatoes it's at like 90% or something like that, which I feel like is a little too much. The Jeffrey Dahmer story has been told so many times throughout the years, but I forgot the actor's name. I can't remember his name, but he did, I mean, just an incredible job at portraying Jeffrey Dahmer. Then I watched Ted 2, just a simple watch. Then I saw Hocus Pocus 2, not as good as the original, but I felt like it was fun. The one thing which I completely understand is when these, with Hocus Pocus, the original coming out in, I believe, 1993, and then this one coming out in 2022, there's obviously going to be huge changes in technology, and they really did a lot with that, which I feel like is good in movies, but very subtle. Like if they do a sequel to an older movie, just show them being on phones, but they had to do like, um, their broomstick being a robotic vacuum instead of an original vacuum and stuff like that. So it's whatever. A Bug's Life, another nostalgia watch for me, mainly because I believe I saw this when it came out or a year after. I had it on VHS when I was a kid. I believe it was in a clamshell. Then I watched The Addams Family and Addams Family Values. Very good. I do like Adam's Family Values better because it's one of those movies where they sort of jump right into everything, and there's different locations throughout the movie that I like. Sort of gets them out. Not that I don't like the Adams Family home, I just like that they went to different locations. Men at Work, Emilio Estevez, and what's his name? Charlie Sheen. Another movie where you can just put it on in the background if you're doing stuff. RV, all right, Robin Williams movie. Big Mama's House 2, don't know why I watched that. Gave it a 1 star. Go figure. Some Kind of Wonderful. This is a John Hughes movie that I hadn't seen before. I didn't actually even really know what it was, and I watched it, and it's a typical John Hughes movie. If you think of 16 Candles or The Breakfast Club, that's essentially what it's like, but it's good. The Great Outdoors, um, another John Hughes-esque movie. Blonde, this is another movie that people were talking about. I give it 2.5 stars. I feel like that is about right of a rating for this movie. It feels exploitive, but at the same time, it was all right. Some people aren't gonna like it, but like I said, it's okay. Not the greatest. Breach, I don't remember this movie at all. Friday, comedy classic, just casual watch. Tag was a movie that I hadn't heard of before and was very surprised by. Now I've got Halloween Ends on here. I did not watch this movie. I do not plan on watching this movie. That's why there's no stars here at all. And yeah, we're just gonna move on. The Watcher. This was this Netflix series that sort of blew up, and I thought it was okay. It's more of a mystery than anything else. Not really too thrilling or anything like that. White Chicks, Juno, American Reunion, and Game Night. These were all sort of just casual watches that I wanted to do. Juno I hadn't seen in a while, probably since it came out in '07, and it still holds up as it's a great movie. All right, we're getting towards the end here. Ready Player One. It's a movie I'd never seen before. I know. I give it 3.5 stars. Uh, could go higher, but I'm gonna keep it at 3.5 stars. Very good movie. The CGI and effects are great. Just overall, a very good technological movie that's done right when it comes to technology. Happy Gilmore, casual watch. Peanut Butter Falcon, first time watch for me. I thought this movie was good. It's one of those movies that's good, but also a movie that you can put on in the background if you're doing stuff throughout the house. And it's just one of those movies that I feel like, Shia LaBeouf, I do think he's a decent actor. And I feel like you can tell him in this movie, he put um, some heart into this movie and into the role. I had to watch Home Alone because, hey, it's Home Alone. Come on. The Santa Claus, Miracle on 34th Street, and Jingle All the Way. All great movies. I'm going to actually put Jingle All the Way at 3 stars and not 4.5 or 3.5. And the last movie I saw this year was Glass Onion. Glass Onion was great. Rian Johnson is doing very, very good work with these movies. Knives Out was good. Glass Onion, I feel like, was as good. Maybe not as good as Knives Out, just because Knives Out was the first, and it's sort of Knives Out isn't original because it's basically Clue, but with some different things throughout. Same thing with Glass Onion, but the production value is there. You can tell that it's a sort of one of those things where Rian Johnson had to take a lot of time to write the script for this movie, but overall, if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. I highly suggest you watch it. And that's all the movies. 71 in 2022. I am hoping to break 150 to 200 this year in 2023. But if you guys did enjoy this video of me reviewing and going over what I watched last year, please hit that subscribe button. I would appreciate that a lot, and I will see you guys in the next one.